Good day from the mountains of Colorado. I'm Arthur Sachs, Professor Emeritus of Environmental Studies, Film Studies, and English, and founding director of the Division of Liberal Arts and International Studies at the Colorado School of Mines. Prior to moving to Mines in 1993, I served as a principal here in IES, the interdisciplinary college-like unit established 50 years ago on 6 February 1970. IES was headed by its founding director, meteorology, geography, and IES professor Reid Bryson. When he stepped down, and with the recommendation of the IES faculty, I was appointed the second director in 1985 by then Chancellor Irving Schoen. I served in that capacity till the summer of 1990. All told, I was associated with IES for 17 years, having joined in 1976, and was central to its early growth, especially in helping to develop 5 of the Institute's then graduate degree programs and its undergraduate minor, now a major, in securing competitive grants and in helping to establish IES's international reputation in environmental studies education, research, and outreach. So, it is my honor and pleasure to join you in celebrating the Nelson Institute's 50th year, and to do so by looking back at its founding. 60 years ago, in 1960, the visionary Wisconsin Board of Regents officially asked some key questions of the university. Most importantly, and I quote, "What is the role of the university in the future of man?" unquote. To respond to this core question, the university president and the faculty established the Interdisciplinary Committee on the Future of Man. The debate that ensued for years led this landmark committee to its primary recommendation in 1967, the establishment of an interdisciplinary institute for environmental studies. However, given anti-war and other protests, the creation of IES did not occur till 1970. Of course, interest in the environment did not suddenly arise in 1960 or 1970, hardly. This concern dates back centuries, but especially grew in intensity in the decades prior to and post-World War II's massive destruction of people and the earth. I note in particular the important observations made in the 1920s by Dr. L.P. Jacks in his book, Constructive Citizenship, and I quote, "We human beings are apt to think our race the only object in creation that really matters. We have developed a kind of class consciousness in the presence of the universe. The human race is all important in its own eyes. Nature is there to be ruled by us. Her forces were meant to turn our wheels, her materials to be exploited for our enrichment, her laws to provide for our comfort, and the very stars in their courses must be yoked to our wagons. We have still to learn that the human race is tolerated in the universe only on strict condition of good behavior. If we neglect our citizenship there or think we can play fast and loose with the laws that were written there, laws which were not voted into existence by us, those other citizenships will come to grief. This human class consciousness in the presence of the rest of the universe is not a good thing. It is a dangerous thing. Unless we bear that in mind, our study of the rights and duties of the citizen is not worthwhile." Unquote. The idea of the Institute emerged in the post-World War II era. Its commitment to a constructive citizenship is in part due to the war service and experience of many of its founders in the context of the long-standing Wisconsin idea. To mention just a few of these individuals: founding director and key participant on the 1960s Interdisciplinary Committee, Reid Bryson served as an officer in the Air Force in the meteorological section. During his time in that service, Reid co-discovered the jet stream in his effort to determine how to best conserve airplane fuel. He predicted a large cyclone in the Pacific, and when his warning was not heeded, a ship went down with the loss of hundreds of sailors. Reid also served as a member of the team that provided the weather forecast for the atomic bomb drop on Hiroshima. These events left a deep impression on him, as he realized that service as a scientist could and should work in other constructive public ways. Similarly, 3 early chairs of the IES instructional program were significantly influenced by the war. Botany and IES professor Grant Cottam landed on the beach and fought on Saipan, an experience so horrendous he would never discuss it. Urban and Regional Planning IES and La Follette Institute professor Carlisle Runge was a senior logistics officer in Europe, orchestrating major movements of troops and materiel. Law and IES professor and law school dean George Bunn played a central role in establishing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty for President Kennedy, George having been deeply affected by Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The commitment to constructive citizenship of these and other great figures in the early days of IES created a powerful foundation for the Institute's commitment to the study of human and environmental systems for the decades to come. In honoring the founding of the Institute, I would like to close these remarks with a poem I wrote for my mentor, climatologist, geographer, geologist, archaeologist, poet, weaver, Renaissance man, Reed Bryson, who, coincidentally, would be celebrating his 100th year as the Institute celebrates its 50th. I included this poem, River Rock, in my remarks at Reed's memorial service in Madison in 2008. River Rock goes like this. Pick up a rock from a riverbed 1 billion years older than you. Dark, smooth at the bottom of the stream, solid, its weight transparent in the clarity of water, cold, glacial, speeding with spring melt, fast with the gradient of the mountain, sunlight dancing on water with the speed of rock-fed turbulence. Hands and feet iced in icy waters, toes poking for a stone, hand lifting it into sunlight, cold, wet, heavy, your warmth and the sun's warmth quickly leaving a dry stone, a wonder of color, weight, roundness, a perfect wholeness, desiring nothing, needing nothing, choosing nothing. We know the rock will persist, a comfort in its permanence, in its weight, in the sacredness of stone. Did our ancestors' bones help work the stone in the riverbed? Did their blood mix with water to help round its edges, to help shape its perfection? Your eye chose a stone from thousands in an icy stream, the selection saying more about you than the stone, now held in this hand, once warmed by your pulse, altering ever so slightly the universe we share. So for a while we are as solid as stone, our movement, this moment, like a river dancing in sunlight. You brought this river rock and many more back, put them in a tumbler filled with true grit, spun them around for days and weeks, yielding stones polished to perfection, piled high in a basket in your living room. You like them, you asked? Yes, we said, very much. Well, take as many as you wish. The world is filled with stones. It is a very rocky place. And so we did. Leaving after dinner, a paper bag filled with polished stones, the stones in a basket in a log house now 1,000 miles away, now back in the mountains, marking the grip of your hand around mine, the polished rock still shining, even as other rocks roll down other rivers for others' eyes, for others' hands, to be chosen, touched, and freely given. A gift from the heart. With that, let me simply close with my most heartfelt congratulations to the Nelson Institute on its founding, its persistence, and its many accomplishments, far too many to mention, and offer my sincere best wishes to Dean Robbins and the IES faculty, staff, and students for the next 50 years.